Hi there, and welcome to my YouTube channel Classic Fanatic. I create custom classic databases for the Football Manager game series, and for FM18 I created the 95-96 season DB, which you can download in the Steam Workshop, or follow me on Twitter. There's a link to a save game file as well. 10 years ago I found my old sticker collection hidden away in the basement. Take a look at this from the 95-96 season, like the DB, with Roberto Baggio on the cover. We also have 1989 in Italy with Michael Laudrup, Marco van Basten, Rudi Völler, Ruud Gullit, Diego Maradona, Alessandro Altobelli. It is stacked with legends. And in these World Cup times, a flashback to the World Cup in USA 94. What a brilliant World Cup that was. And some Premier League from 96, David Ginola, Alan Shearer, Jan-Åke Fjørtoft. And it goes all the way back to 1988, the European Championship in Germany. Look at some of these guys, maybe you know them. The England national team from 1988. And of course the winners, Holland, who won in the final by a brilliant goal from Marco van Basten. It just keeps on going. I have stacks of these albums. And it's just inspired me to bring back some of those old football legends into the modern day Football Manager game. First of all, I have to thank all of you who already have downloaded the DB and the Steam Workshop, and I hope you have so much fun with it. I have. At the moment, I'm just working on another DB for FM18, classic of course. We already have decided which season I should do for the FM19 game. I had a poll on Twitter and a poll on Facebook, and it was the same season who came out the winner in both polls, the 2003-2004 season. I'm already looking forward to doing that. I have to thank some streamers, some FM gamers and stuff. First of all, Football Manager blog wrote a beautiful article on the DB. Check it out. It is fantastic. I appreciate it a lot. It takes me so much time to do these DBs, but I just love it. Loki Doki, of course. He got a stream going on Twitter and a save on YouTube. I enjoy all of it. We have a WeStream FM. You guys had a network game going for a short period of time. It was so much fun looking at you guys browsing around the DB. I can relate. You can do that for hours and hours going. And the first guy who streamed with my DB, it was Kylix8FM. I am massively grateful to you, sir. Thank you for taking my DB and using it. And of course, I turned over my exclusive rights for my next DB for FM18 to Kylix8FM. He will be the first one who streams it, and after he streams, we will release the database into the Steam Workshop. I'm looking so much forward to that. I want to give you a show round in the 1995-96 DB. There is so much talent, so many legends, so many brilliant teams. Let's turn back the time to 95-96. In England, the defending champions at this time, Blackburn Rovers. Oh my god, you know who we're going to look at? It's of course Alan Shearer. What an absolute legend. A goal scoring machine at that time and all his career, of course. Chris Sutton, his partner in goal scoring, and young guys as well. Blackburn was a very strong team. Colin Hendry, I believe it was the team captain, the Scottish man. What a header. All these attributes is from the old Championship Manager or Football Manager editions. I took them and plugged them into the editor, turned them up to the 2018 edition. And this Blackburn team is defending champions when this season started. Oh, I miss Tim Flowers, England national goalkeeper as well. Back up for the Arsenal keeper. Let's go to Arsenal immediately and look at David Seaman. Come on. This is some goddamn legendary British players. Tony Adams. Wow, 20, 20, 20 all over. And it's not my opinion who gives him 20 and everything. It was his attributes in the old games. I was amazed like you were, but what a defender we got right there. And we know, of course, the rest of the defense. We got some old timers like Lee Dixon. I liked him in the old days. Arsenal legend, of course, David Platt. come on, playing in Sampdoria and Juventus, Bari in Italy, going back to England, playing for Arsenal. They have an okay team this year. Ray Parlour is young, what is he, 22? Paul Merson, 27, what an absolute legend as well. 21 games for the national team at this time. He had his problems. And okay, this is probably the biggest star, key player of this Arsenal team. The Ajax legend and Arsenal legend, Dennis Bergkamp. The Dutch national team is enjoying a lot of him at that moment. You got a young 20-year-old Welsh John Hartson. What a target man. Big and strong. And Ian Wright, what is he? 31 at this period of time. He also scored a lot of goals. Crystal Palace and Arsenal, you know, going on Arsenal for several years. What do we have here more? Chelsea at this time. They had, as I remember, a fucking player manager. And look who it is. Glenn Hoddle. 37 years old. He's the manager. 37 years old, of course. He's the manager of Chelsea. Still playing a bit of games. The old Tottenham icon. Player manager. It was another time in England. He was not the only one. I think there was 3 player manager in the Premier League at this time. We get back to that. Of course, Ruud Gullit. What a legend as well. This was just when Chelsea started to buy some bigger names than they used to. And Ruud Gullit was one of the first ones coming in. Dmitry Karin, the Russian national team goalkeeper. I know there's Jakob Kjellberg from Denmark and Dan Petrescu. He looked fucking great for the wing back, for the full back. The Romanian 75 caps for the Romanian national team. They started to have something, and it was the season they got Mark Hughes from Manchester United, of course. 31, still a lot of years in him. Starting to play in midfield, and he was a determined motherfucker. He worked hard. His heading was brilliant. What a legend as well. Nigel Spackman, that's an old name. Here we see Glenn Hoddle as the player. Gavin Peacock, John Spencer Furlong, and Mark Stein. Chelsea was not a dream team at the moment. And you see teams as Coventry, as Leeds. And Leeds were not for fun at this time. Actually a very great team. John Lukic, good goalkeeper. Lucas Radebe, Ian Hart, 17 years old. You have to see him. He's already quite a talent. The Irishman, Ian Hart. Gary Kelly, young Irish as well. He was a good player. Very good. Right fullback. Carlton Palmer. What a legend. I remember him. Beautiful. Tony Dorigo and Gary Speed. Rest in peace. This was a brilliant midfielder. I always brought Gary Speed in the old days. And this guy, Gary McAllister, 30 years old. He can play another 8 years. A playmaker. Another Scotsman. Yeah, Thomas Brolin. What a guy. A Swedish legend from my favorite team, Parma. They just bought him. It's absolutely cool. I started to become a Parma fan in the early 90s when they brought Claudio Taffarel, the Brazilian goalkeeper, in 1990. And they brought Faustino Asprilla in 1992. And then my love for this team raised up. And I still support them all the way I can do. Enough of that. We come back to Italy at another time. Let's do Leeds here. Rod Wallace. Phil Masinga, Brian Dean, and of course Tony Yeboah. Coming from Germany, 18 games, 12 goals in his first season in Leeds. And he didn't just score goals sitting in position and stuff. He fucking banged them in with his long shot. He was one crazy Ganesian, I think you called them that. Leeds, yeah. As I mentioned, Coventry, Everton wasn't quite up to par this time. They had, of course, the legendary goalkeeper Neville Southall, Andy Hinchcliffe, David Unsworth, Andrei Kanchelskis. Okay, there's a key player. Brought him from Manchester United, and he was a beast on the right flank. This guy, man. Anders Limpar from Sweden. That's some of the profiles. Daniel Amokachi, I remember from the Nigerian team. Nigerian national team. He was one of the good ones. Duncan Ferguson. I don't think I have to press him. Don't be afraid of his 20s. Here we go. Booyah! And I have to say it again. It's not my opinion who gives him these attributes. It's the old stats and attributes from Championship Manager and Football Manager I just plotted into here. I of course took his current ability and his potential ability and put it into, what can you say, so he has some room for development, and maybe this guy don't have to develop too much. Maybe he's very close to his potential ability. What do we have? Liverpool at this time. David James was number 1 in goal. 24, young, no English caps yet. Yes, he was loved, he was hated, but absolutely David James was there. Rob Jones was one good, very fine right back. John Scales, Neil Razor Ruddock. Love that guy. That is British football in my mind. I love it. The 90s British football and the 80s British football. Ooh, it was a hard fucking shit. Yeah, Jason McAtee, quite young, 24, and Phil Babb. Some Irish players again. The Irish team, the Scottish team, the Welsh team at this time of moment were actually very, very interesting. And of course, the English team. Lots of great players. Like this guy, 23-year-old Steve McManaman. Played quite a few seasons and already 37 caps for the international team. 20 in dribbling. I can't remember, he couldn't cross that good, but 20 in dribbling. He was quick. His vision was very, very good. And Steve McManaman, what can I say? Jamie Redknapp, Mr. Glass Legs, but 22, and look at these numbers. Some of you Liverpool fans will love playing with this team. You got the absolute legend all over John Barnes. Come on, look at his career. Still going strong, 31 years old, and play a lot of positions offensively. Yeah, I love that guy. And Robbie Fowler, 20 years old. Last season, 42 caps at 25 goals. What the fuck? 28 matches and 12 goals in his first season. Robbie Fowler for you ladies and gentlemen. What can I say? There's 15 seasons in this guy, maybe. And lots of goals. But Liverpool don't have any problems with going attacking. Their all-time scoring legend, Ian Rush. He's still here. 33, he can still bag a goal now and then, absolutely. And Stan Collymore, he had a brilliant season last year in Nottingham. 2 brilliant seasons actually in Nottingham before coming to Liverpool, 24 years old. He scored some amazing goals as well. And we have to check out the youth teams for Liverpool. Michael Owen, 15 years old. He got his debut next season when he was 16, I believe. Come on, you go and develop on this guy. It can be fucking crazy. And I believe you watched the name right above him. A young Steven Gerrard, also 15 years old. Go develop on that guy. Train him into new positions, whatever you want. Form him like you want to. Or just see him. Yeah. What do we have? Or just see him rise and grow like all the other youth players in this game. There is many. City. Let's go to United, because City, they don't have, what do they have? Some old Germans like Ike Emil and Mikael Fronzek, Keith Curl. Yeah, it was not that brilliant. This was before Manchester City had the dough, had the money. So you see, Nigel Clough is maybe one of the best players, recently joined after 2 years in Liverpool. He's known from his time in Nottingham Forest, and of course from his dad, Brian Clough. He's in this game as well. Let's go check it out. Information, where should that? Stuart Pearce, Germany, good. He's not here. Let's go and check it out. Come on. No Brian Clough. He was retired at this time. Of course, there's one guy, at Manchester City, you all remember Georgi Ginglatze. Oh, he scored some amazing goals. He's dribbling, come on, 19 of course. Brilliant little dude. Absolutely. But Manchester City, they didn't have any chance at this time. The German Uwe Rösler and Niall Quinn, of course. He looks decent, I would say. Big guy, about 6'2", 6'3", I believe. Very strong, target man of the day, Irish legend. And let's go to it. This team, if you start a game in England and you're not Manchester United, I can tell you who you're going to fight against for the next couple of years. It's this team. They had the 92 generation class, of course, I will show you. And they had some fucking world-class goalkeeper. Peter Schmeichel, of course. Almost 100 caps for the Danish national team and 1 goal. He could that as well. But this guy, yeah, for 10 years or something, you could use this guy. Steve Bruce, absolute Manchester United legend. He scored a lot of goals. Don't ask me why he didn't play any national team games. He had some fucking crazy season. 13 goals in 1990. What can I say? When I was a teenager and watched football, he was part of the Manchester United team, I remember. David May was a backup player. Gary Pallister was one of the defenders, I remember. Playing here for lots of years. Big guy. There you go. Just a stable defense. Paul Parker. Who don't like Paul Parker? This little fullback, he was great back in the day. And here you can see some of the talent is starting to come. Gary Neville, 20 years old, just starting to get his first matches for the team. Wonderkid as well. Who do we have? Phil Neville. We have to check out Phil Neville, of course, but Dennis Irwin. He was one great Irish player, Manchester United legend. Could shoot the free kick and stuff. You know how it is. I missed Phil Neville. Here we go. Yes. 18 years old, of course, the brother. The talent on this team. Nicky Butt, 20 years old. He got some of his characteristics. And this guy, I know, maybe some of you remember this guy and misses this guy, David Beckham. Come on, just started in the game as well, 20 years old. Develop on this guy. You can do whatever you want. Make him quicker if he's up to that or something, yeah. Roy Keane, come on. Yeah, another Irish legend. This guy. Ooh, on the defensive midfielder. Ball-winning midfielder. He could do this, yeah. Simon Davis, absolutely a talent. And Paul Scholes, 20 years old as well. Good first season for him. 20 years old. Magnificent. What can I say? Brian McClare, one of the more experienced players in Manchester's squad. You got this guy. He was 21. Ryan Giggs at this time. Quick winger. Yeah, you know the story. Go and play with this guy, Sharp. I like him as well. And you have the Frenchman, Eric Cantona. There you go, Cantona. Look at his numbers. Yeah, you have some good seasons in this guy. If you go and buy him in Manchester, start with Manchester United. Andy Cole. Yeah, still quite young. Just a goal machine as well. Maybe pair him up with Dwight York if you want. This Manchester United team is madness. Madness. I haven't seen a game where Manchester United didn't win all of it. They're winning the Champions League, the Premier League, all of it. That is the kings. You have to take their crown. It's that's an object. Middlesbrough was in the Premier League at this time. Which name sticks out? Some of them do. Clayton Blackmore, 30 year. Jamie Pollock, I remember him. Brian Robson. Here we go. One more player manager, Brian Robson, an absolute England legend with a career with almost 600 games. And of course, a lot of years in Manchester United. He was the player manager of Middlesbrough at the time. There was two player managers. And he had also Branco, the Brazilian legend, free kick specialist before Roberto Carlos. They brought him in, and another Brazilian. Where do we have him? Come on, little guy, Juninho Balita. Yeah, these couple of guys made this Middlesbrough team very interesting, actually. And Nick Barmby, 21. He was a great English talent as well. You had Jaime Moreno, the Bolivian talent. Yeah, John Hendry, Scotsman. Jan Åkerfjørtoft, the Norwegian big guy as well. Yeah, he's got a lot of goals. Mikkelbeck. Let's move on. Newcastle, of course. My man Kyle X, he started the game with this team. Not a lot of these players is left. He's 4 seasons in, as I remember. Let's check it out. Pavlo Janicek, Shaka Hislop. They had the season, you all remember. It's so damn close. They wish they beat them, but they didn't. Philippe Albert, the Belgian defender, he had some skill, free kicks, and some of you remember his lob goal, his chip. Yeah, Darren Peacock was a good defender as well. Steve Howe, Steve Watson, Warren Barton. I remember this team loud and clearly. David Batty. It was a top team at the moment. Rob Lee, what a player, yeah. Newcastle legend all the way. Peter Beardsley. He played until he was very, very old, and what a career. Scoring goals every season, producing assists and stuff. You remember Peter Beardsley, I'm sure of that. Keith Gillespie, great talent, absolutely. From Northern Ireland, they brought him in Manchester United, I remember that, yeah. And let's get on with some key players. Lee Clark, he was a good player, yeah, absolutely. And David Ginola, what can I say? Kylix had a lot of fun with this guy in the first couple of seasons. Look at his stats, look at his attributes. This winger, inside winger, I hope so. You could fucking, yeah. Brilliant. I'm so close to choosing this team every time I start a new game, because this, Faustino Asprilla, my favorite player of all time. Oh, I'm so happy to see him back in the game every time. But I'm not happy to see Newcastle bought him from Parma back in the day. But that was how it went. He had some good seasons in England, scoring some great goals. I remember the Barcelona game. I remember the Liverpool game especially. Paul Kitson, Darren Huckabee, and Les Ferdinand. Of course, Newcastle before they brought Alan Shearer. Les Ferdinand was the man who scored a lot of the goals. Great English team. Nottingham Forest, they were over their greatest period of time. Stuart Pearce, who don't remember him? Look at that stats. Fighting all the way. Free kicks and stuff. Yeah, he's good. He's great to have in the team. Chris Bart Williams, he was quite a talent at the time. I remember Brian Roy, the Dutchman. Yeah, he had some skills as well, playing for the Dutch national team as a winger. Neil Webb, yeah, I remember him. Steve Stone, talented 23 at this. That's a winger. That's a winger for you. Crossing the ball, maybe a little bit quicker, but work rate and long shots. It looks very, very fine. Ian Vaughan, David Phillips, Kevin Campbell. Yeah, big guy coming out of Arsenal. Going to Everton later, I remember. Andrea Zilenzi from Torino. Nottingham, not a great team. A couple of good players in there. Queen's Park Rangers. I, of course, remember Trevor Sinclair. Yeah, the bicycle kick goal. This guy is also only 22. You can form him as you will. Danny Dichio. He was a big guy as well. Yeah. Target man, just like Mark Haitley. Ned Sillage, Carl Reddy, Jürgen Sommer, don't it up. But this is not a great team, but fun to see some of the names in there. Sheffield Wednesday, Chris Woods, also legendary English national goalkeeper Kevin Pressman, Des Walker. Who can beat Des Walker? Playing in Sheffield Wednesday at this time, Peter Atherton, Stephen Nicol, Liverpool legend, Graham Hyde, Mark Pembridge. He looked fucking crazy as well. Look at these numbers. Yeah, he was slow, but other than that, god damn. We have some more English legends in here. John Sheridan from Ireland and Chris Waddle. Come on, 34. He was just a brilliant footballer, this guy. And still playing in Sheffield Wednesday. They had some foreign players. Reggie Blinker, the Dutchman, winger. Mark de Vries, the Belgian international. What a career he got there. Darko Kovacevic, they had him when he was very young, only 22, coming out of Red Star, scoring lots of goals. Yeah. That's looking fucking cool. Mark Bright, he's 33 now. Sheffield Wednesday, not as brilliant. Southampton. One player you all have to see, you know who I mean, Matthew Le Tissier. Check out those attributes. And tell me, we got a world-class player here. Midfield orchestrator. Come on. I would start a game with Southampton just because they have him. He's very loyal. Buy in some players to the team, form them around him. Could it be done? Yeah, I would like to try that. There really is many. Barry Venison, I remember him. Francis Benali, Ken Manku, yes, the Dutchman as well. And a couple of old timers. Bruce Grobbelaar, many years in Liverpool. He went to Stoke on loan, back to Liverpool, and then to Southampton, where he was the first choice in goal last year. 37 years old, the Zimbabwean. Funny numbers. He can do some stuff for you. And Dev Besant as well. Some of the really old keepers they got. Southampton for you there. We got Tottenham. Oh, I forgot something. It was the third player manager. He should be in here. How could I forget? Come on. Ray Wilkins. Rest in peace, my man. 38. And manager and player as well. There we go. Let's go to Tottenham. They have something. Not the top 4 team at the moment. Ian Walker. He played some international games from England. Erik Thorstvedt, the Norwegian. Sol Campbell. Come on. 20 years old. That's a talent for you. One of the best defenders in the next many years. Wonder kid, if you saw that. Justin Edinburgh, David Kerslake, Gary Mabbutt. That is a Tottenham legend you got right there. Still very useful, just like Clive Wilson. Jerry McMahon, Rule Fox, who does remember this guy? And his attributes also looks very good. Winger. Andy Sinton, of course, a winger, and Darren Anderton. If he didn't have had his glass legs, he would be an absolute legend. He scored goals. I liked him. A tall winger, shooting from outside, scoring goals all over, yeah. And of course, Teddy Sheringham, that must be the one key player for this team. 29, we all know he played 10 years more like this and just got better and better. Ronnie Rosenthal, Chris Armstrong. Yeah, they're of course missing some things, but the project it could be by a couple of players and have fun with this Tottenham team. West Ham at this time. Look who's in goal. 45 years old. He's of course not the first choice, but he's still here, my ladies and gentlemen. 45 years old. We take a little break. I was a goalkeeper myself, of course. Gigi Buffon is this shirt. I watched Buffon's first game for Parma, 18 years old. Luca Bucci was out injured. Marco Ballotta just got injured up to the game, and this 18-year-old Gigi Buffon came into goal, and I remember that game. Very good. Look at this. What a career. 810 matches, and he ain't over. It ain't done yet. Peter Shilton, just an all-time legend. Fantastic. West Ham, Ludek Miklosko, the Czech Republic international keeper. You got Slaven Bilic, the Croatian. Yeah, that's some quality defense right there with Mark Reaper, the Danish. And this team got some talents, I tell you. Let's start off with Rio Ferdinand, 16 years old. Yeah, just got into the first team. 16 years old. Just imagine what you can do with this guy. And it ain't over yet. You remember Julian Dix, John Moncur, John Hawks, the American, Robbie Slater. And here we go, Frank Lampard, another big talent, 17 years old. Oh, look at this cutie. Frank Lampard, go and form this guy, yeah? It could be so much fun. Ilie Dumitrescu, a Romanian legend. He had some quite good seasons. Remember him mostly for the 94 in USA, the World Cup over there. He scored some goals. Ian Dowie, Tony Cutty. Yeah, some experience for the attack there. And after West Ham, we finish the Premier League up with Wimbledon. The crazy gang, who don't miss this team. Hans Segers in goal. Who do we got? Chris Perry, Alan Reeves, Andy Thorne, Kenny Cunningham, Brian McAllister, Andy Pierce. Yeah, you know, no world-class players in here, but this team, they would fight their asses off for you like this one. If you fucked with this guy, he would do this to you and he wouldn't blink, man. Just kick your fucking ass. Winnie Jones. Class actor. Øyvind Leonardsen, the Norwegian. They had some foreign stuff and they had the Jamaican feeling going. Robbie Earl, he didn't look too shabby at all. That's fucking cool. Mick Harford, old attacker, scored lots of goals. Dean Holdsworth, 26. He had some good seasons as well. Gary Blissett, Ifan Ikuku. Yeah, 18 finishing, 19 heading. You know what to do with this guy. He'll produce some goals for you anytime. That was the English Premier League. And before we go to another league, let's check out some hidden gems in the game. Okay, I have to do like this. Middle wall, come on. Yes, I know there's one guy down here. Where do you hide? Oh, that's what I mean. That is what I mean. If you didn't know, you got Tim Cahill down here, 15 years old, and you got this 14-year-old Cherno Samba. Of course, his attributes don't look anything like you remember him from the old days, but he was only 14 years old at this point. So I can reveal he got the numbers he had back in the day. So give him some playing time and some years, and you get the old Cherno Samba back. And while we're at it, talk about some classic Football Manager strikers. We got Maxim Tsigalgo, also 14 years old, Belarusian. This guy, you all seen the Tsigalgo challenge on Twitter and stuff. He could score 1,000 goals over the seasons. Like with Cherno Samba, he got his actually attributes from back in the day. So just watch his development, and in a couple of seasons you could have a world-class striker for yourself. And there's much more hidden gems out there from other countries, if you remember some. And we have to go overseas to the country of Japan. At this time they actually were what the China is today in the football world. They had some players. We got all the foreign players. Cesar Sampaio, only 27, playing for the Brazilian national team. I remember this guy, brilliant defensive midfielder. You got some other Brazilians. Evair, 30 years old. Yeah, he scored some goals as well in Italy, in Brazil. Pieter Hoekstra from Holland, been a couple of years in Rangers. And he ventured to the lands of Japan to continue his football career. Saitama, they got Guido Buchwald, Uwe Bein, and Mikael Rummenigge, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge's brother. Guido Buchwald, what a defender, 35, 34, 31. Of course, they are a bit older, but you could buy them back, use them for 1 or 2 seasons. Sergei Alainikov, playing in Juventus for a couple of seasons. This must be a legendary Belarusian. Hans Gilhaus, Oleg Prototov. He's 31. He's quality striker as well. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to look at these Japanese teams. Okayama, they got Mozart, the Brazilian. He's 34. He's up there. Still got some quality. Leonardo, 25 years old. What about this winger? Didn't cost them much. There will be a fight to get to this guy, I believe. Martinho Oliveira, and you got one Japanese talent. Let's move on to Verdi Kawasaki. Akel Fuchs, Bismarck, Donizete, and the Japanese legend Kazuyashi Miura. He played one season in Genoa and started in Brazil. How is that possible? But he did, and he still plays to this day. 50 years old. Go YouTube the guy. He scored the goal as the oldest player in Japan. I think 51 or something. Check it out. What a brilliant legend. Who do we have here? Nobody in there. Funayashi Bandits. Antonio Galasako. This is defensive quality as you get it. He doesn't look that overpowered, but he could develop. I tell you that. Valdir Benedito, Edilson, and this guy, Gareca, Brazilian top legend, playing in Napoli with Diego Maradona, scoring lots of goals, but he's 34, you know how it goes. Giurara, Gustavo Zapata, Ramon Diaz, legendary Argentinian. Kobe, I don't think there's anyone in there. Kawaguchi Richo, who do we have? Nagoya Stolz, almost my name, Stolze. Dragan Stojkovic, the Serbian legend. He could hit a free kick and a lot of stuff. 30 years old. And I know you saw him. Gary Lineker, 34. Look at this career. Finishing off in Japan for a couple of seasons. Yeah, he could be fun. Buying home to England for one season or something like that. And it goes on. There's lots of players in Japan I wish you would go and check out. Let's move on to Italy, to the Serie A. Juventus was the defending title holders at this point of time. But back then they had some competition from AC Milan, Sebastiano Rossi, a giant of a goalkeeper, looking very, very, very good, and Franco Baresi. What can I say? Legendary sweeper, libero. Back in these days, very many teams, a lot of teams played with the sweeper role. So look out for that. We have Alessandro Costa, Mauro Tassotti, and of course, maybe the best defender in the game, Paolo Maldini, 27 years old, 101 international caps, leader, elite centre back. Yeah, go and see if you can buy him or start up with Milan. We have Mathieu Desailly and Patrick Vieira from France. So great talents, 19 years old. And Marcel, 26 years old. Yeah. Moving on with Stefano Iranio, Dimitrio Alpacini. It was a little bit like Andrea Pirlo at the time. Only 23 years old, and now I mentioned Pirlo. Why don't we check him out at once? He was 16 years old, playing in Brescia in Serie B. Already got some numbers here, some attributes. He could become a class player over time. Roberto Donadoni and of course Roberto Baggio. This is the most expensive player in the DB when you start at 28 years old. This is the ponytailed legend from Italy. Oh, I miss this guy. Who do we have else? We have Zvonimir Boban and Dejan Savicevic. Some Croatian and Montenegrin talent here. Very good players. Paolo Futra, Marco Simone. What a Milan player right there. Paolo Di Canio, 26. Gianluigi Lentini. Back in the day, the most expensive footballer when he was sold from Torino to Milan. He didn't fulfill his potential, but he had some skill. George Weah, that is an attacker for you guys. Brought in from Paris. 28 years old. Milan are ready to conquer the world. And this guy, Marco van Basten, only 30 years old, but at his end of his career, didn't play a game the last 2 seasons, and I actually believe he retired, didn't play anymore. But if you can beat the natural fitness of 2, you could get a couple of seasons out of him. That is just nostalgia for you there. We have Atalanta, they have some couple of good players, just like Christian Vieri, only 21. Go and buy this beast of a striker. We have Domenico Maffeo, he became a Parma player later. Could hit the free kick, just a technician. Yeah, let's move on. We have Bari with some Swedish players in there. We have Claes Ingesson and Kenneth Andersson. Igor Protti. For you guys who remember the Italian football in the 90s, he scored so many goals. There is good players in every team. Let's move on to Fiorentina. We have Francesco Toldo at the age of 23. That's an Italian goalkeeper for years to come. They had an interesting team. Defense, Pasquale Pattalino, Malosci, Canaschiali, Lorenzo Amoruso, of course. Going to Blackburn, as the picture shows you here. He had some skill, that big guy. Cristiano Zanetti and Kois, some talent for you there. Stefan Schwarz, another Swedish player. And of course, Rui Costa, this wizard of a playmaker, playing in Fiorentina with these attributes in the midfield, passing the ball up front to another class player by the name of Gabriel Batigol Batistuta. Here we go, 26 years old. It can happen, go buy him, have some fun. He can score goals for many seasons, I promise you. An interesting Fiorentina team. We also have Inter Milan with a quality goalkeeper, Gianluca Barluca. 28, that is world-class elite goalkeeper, they call it. We have an Inter Milan legend, Giuseppe Bergomi. Inter Milan all the way, 31. Also an international legend, Bergomi. What some mental attributes here, fantastic. And let's check out the managers. We have Roy Hodgson in Inter Milan. He brought on Paul Ince from Manchester United to the Italian league. Who do we have? Bergomi. You have also Javier Zanetti. That is fun. His first season in Inter Milan at 21 years old. He played there for 18 seasons or something. Brilliant. And look at this guy, Roberto Carlos, with hair on his head, coming to play in Inter Milan. I remember him in the old games, playing him at the wing back. He could produce 30 assists and 20 something goals. Let's hope he can do it again in this DB. Who do we have in attack? We have Benito Carbone, I liked him. We have Mauricio Gans scoring lots of goals, and Branca. Juve, the defending champions. In goal, Angelo Peruzzi. He was quite controversial, sitting out some seasons, but a quality goalkeeper, only 25. Ciro Ferrara, that is Italian defender for you right there, playing in Juve for lots of seasons. Gianluca Pesotto, the left back. You can see why these guys was the title holders, the champions of Italy. Angelo Di Livio, such a workhorse in the midfield on the right flank. We have Moreno Torricelli, a very versatile defender playing in a lot of positions, fighting very nice. Juan Sorin, I could remember this guy being Juventus. He was there for a couple of seasons. He went on to become a very good player later in his career. And of course, Attilio Lombardo, 29, that is quality, also a workhorse. And you saw him, Didier Deschamps, 26 years old, in the Juventus team. They got talent as Alessio Tacchinardi. Look at those attributes for such a young guy, wonderkid as well. Paolo Sousa, Giancarlo Marocchi. And here we have a nowadays manager again, Antonio Conte, with some brilliant attributes, 25 years old. That is so much fun. Vladimir Jugovic. I was a big fan of this guy. This was the season when they emptied out Sampdoria for players. Also brought in Virko Wood. the legend. Of course, Lombardo also was from Sampdoria. Vialli was from Sampdoria, but he played here for some seasons, yeah. This Italian legendary striker, 30 years old, bringing him back to the Football Manager game. It is so much fun, and alongside him, the Silver Fox, Fabrizio Ravanelli, only 26, but look at his stats, attributes. A beast, I tell you. This Juventus attack should score some goals, or else they had this guy, Alessandro Del Piero, only 20 years old, go and form his career. The number 10, it is beautiful. We have Lazio, they have some badass quality like Giuseppe Signori, scoring a hell of a lot of goals. Italian international, and his partner Pierluigi Casiraghi. He was made out of glass as well, but he had some good seasons. Moving on to Chelsea later in his career, we have Alan Boksic, Roberto Rambaudi, Diego Fusa. Always looking good in these games. I remember this guy. We have Aaron Winter. Yeah, modern professional. The leader on the midfield, Dutch international. We have Giuseppe Favalli. That is quality left back. And on the right, Paulo Negro. Jose Jamo, the Argentinian. You could get hurt on this guy as well. He was a little bit dirty, but quality. And here we go. The biggest talent, Alessandro Nesta. What a defender, only 19 years old. Go and have fun with this wonder kid. Luca Macchiani in the goal. Going from Lazio, Padova had some players, but moving on to Parma. Forza Parma. Luca Bucci, Alessandro Nesta, you didn't have a chance because in the youth team, Gianluigi Buffon. Gigi. This shirt, of course, is a Buffon shirt. I watched his first game ever in the Italian Serie A. He was 18 years old. Luca Bucci was injured. The second goalkeeper, I think it was Marco Ballotta, got injured just up to the game, and Buffon became the legend we know nowadays. Go get him. 17 years old. Look at those attributes. That is quality. Parma, of course, had some great teams in the 90s. Fernando Couto from Portugal, 26, with the brilliant hairdo. He was actually a very good header. They had Lorenzo Minotti and Luigi Apolloni, and let's not forget about Fabio Cannavaro, 21 years old. Winning the Ballon d'Or in 2006. This defender, oh my god, what a career you can get out of him. Antonio Benarivo, such a fighter. Alberto Di Chiara and Muzzi in the fullbacks. We have some experience with Pin. We have this guy. Again, be aware of some crazy ass attributes. Oh yeah, Dino Baggio for you right there, 23 years old. Top quality in Parma at this point of time. Massimo Crippa was a good player. Alessandro Melli, all Parma fans love this guy, so very loyal. And Gianfranco Zola, of course, 28, this little magician with this skill set. Imagine what you could do, making him into an inside forward maybe. There was a lot of attacking midfielders in the 90s. And in the attack we have Hristo Stoichkov. We all remember the Bulgarian, playing in Barcelona for years. He came to Parma, played one season, I do believe, and one season in Inter Milan. Before moving on, look at those attributes, and you have a young Filippo Pippo Inzaghi. Goal machine, I tell you, fucking goal machine. Moving on from Parma, we have some small teams. There is some good players in there. Go check them out for yourself. We have Roma. They had a very strong team with Chavona in goal. World-class defender in Aldair from Brazil. We are talking about Amedeo Caponi, 30 years old. He plays until he was 40. Luigi Di Biagio, he's manager nowadays as well. His attribute is not for fun. It is fucking cool. We have Jonas Tan from Sweden, Francesco Moriero, such a quick winger. We have Giuseppe Giannini, of course, one of my favorite players from the time. Totti before Totti, playing a lot of seasons in Roma, still got some quality in him. And of course, we got him, Francesco Totti, 18 years old. Just started his career in Roma. There you have the young guy and the other guys in attack. We have Daniel Fonseca, brilliant quality here. And Abel Balbo just scoring so many goals in Italy. Oh my god. Roma had a stable team, I would say. Very nice team. Sampdoria for you. Of course, the manager, Sven-Göran Eriksson. We have Walter Sinca and Riccardo Ferri came in from Inter. Walter Sinca, he was also one of my favorite goalkeepers in the World Cup in Italia 1990. He had some fantastic saves. Now 35 in Sampdoria. We have Sinisa Mihailovic. That is quality for you right there. An absolute legend in Italian football. We have Christian Garenbeu from France. Versatile as well, yeah. And here we go, Clarence Seedorf, 19 years old. If you can extend his contract, which will run out after the first season, you have here a wonder kid and world-class players for years to come. Enrico Chiesa, what a player, and Roberto Mancini, 30 years old. This Sampdoria legend playing with Gianluca Vialli up front for many years. He could do some stuff as well. In attack, they didn't have much. Torino, let's check out Jocelyn Angloma, such a quality right fullback or wingback, this guy. They also had Abdi Ayew, the father of the Ayew brothers, 30 years old. He had some skill, this Ghanaian. Ruggero Riccitelli, one of my favorite players from Italy. Last season was a brilliant one, Torino. We remember him from Roma as well. He was quick, yeah. And that was Torino. We have to check out Udinese because they had Oliver Bierhoff, 27 years old, no international caps yet. He was a late bloomer, playing the last 4 years in Ascoli, 3 of them in the Italian Serie B. But now went to Udinese and scoring almost 30 goals every season from now on. Igor Shalimov they had in there as well. Let's go and check out some other leagues. There is, of course, Bayern Munich. How did they look at this time? It is the old story with Jens Mustermann. This is Oliver Kahn, if anyone is in doubt of that. This is world-class goalkeeper in Bayern, of course. Thomas Helmer, brilliant defender, and this guy, Lothar Matthäus, 34 years old. That is legendary for you right there. You can still go and get some good seasons out of him. Marcus Babbel, Jorginho, what a great fullback from Brazil we got here. 68 caps for his national team. Siriaco Sforza, we have Siege. The Germans had some quality at this point of time. We have Mehmet Scholl, 24 years old. Look at these attributes. That is a playmaker for you right there. We have Andreas Herzog from Austria, Emil Kostadinov, and the 2 attackers, Jean-Pierre Papin, 31 years old. He was a goal machine, this guy, and alongside him, Jürgen Klinsmann, 30 years old. Bayern, they could challenge at this point of time. We have to check out Real Madrid. How did they look in 95? Santiago Canizares, of course, what a goalkeeper. We had Paco Bullo, the legendary goalkeeper. We have Fernando Hierro. Look at his attributes for a sweeper, for a defensive midfielder, for a defender. Just look at that guy. Oh my god. It's brilliant. They had some experience with Manuel Sanchez, club legend Chento. We have Kike Flores. We have this guy, Fernando Redondo. Go Google him if you don't know him. He had some amazing dribble skills from the midfield. One of my absolute all-time favorite players, only 25 in Real Madrid. We're moving on to Michel. That is a club legend when they are best. Playing there for several seasons. 32 years old. 20 in crossing, and one of his Real Madrid friends was, of course, Emilio Butragueño, playing in Atlético Celaya in Mexico. Only 31 years old, this goal machine from Spain. This little guy, there is some more seasons in him, of course. Let's check out this team. We have Michael Laudrup, one of the best attacking midfielders of all time. His passing was amazing. 31 years old, just did the forbidden move from Barcelona to Real Madrid, playing the one season before we go to 95-96 season. The one thing I couldn't change was the year. I can't change it in the editor, so you have to imagine that this year is 95-96. That is no problem for me. We have Luis Enrique, also a current manager, very versatile in the offense. 25 years old. Amavisca, he had some good seasons. Juan Schneider from Argentina, very good header, 19 in heading. Another good header is Ivan Zamorano. He scored many goals in Spain. This season was fucking crazy. Ivan Zamorano from Chile, 28 years old. And we could go and move back to Laudrup to see this team, Barcelona, with Abelardo, one of the best Spanish centre backs of all time, 25 years old at this time. Alongside him, they had a beast, Miguel Angel Natal, 28 years old. Very good defense. Oh, my bad. Let's go back. Julen Lopetegui in the goal. Just got fired from the Spanish manager position. That was some weird shit. Guisa Popescu, Albert Ferrer, and Sergi Barjuan in the fullbacks. Some great players. I remember those guys. Here we go with another current manager, Pep Guardiola. Josep Guardiola. His attributes was amazing as well. Moving on to Robert Prosinecki, great player. Ivan de la Peña, what a talent. George Hagi, the Romanian, also little wizard, scoring some fantastic goals. We have, of course, Luis Figo. First season out of Portugal, moving on from Sporting to Barcelona, 22 years old. Go get this guy. Barcelona, it wasn't the best Barcelona team we ever seen. Jordi Cruyff, of course, his father is the manager of Barcelona. Rest in peace to this genius of a manager in charge of this Barcelona team. They had Mejo Cotro, brought him in from Real Sociedad. He's had a couple of great seasons, and of course Barca took the chance of him. And that is Barcelona for you guys. I think I will start to wrap it up. This was the Showaround of the 95-96 database for you. I hope some of you want to go and download it. You can do it, as I told you, in the Steam Workshop. I will soon release my next database for FM18 through Kylex8FM's Twitch channel. And these glitches you see, they will go away sometime. I have ordered a new camera in. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope to see you soon. Classic Fanatic signing out.